Welcome in, everybody. Hope you've had a good week since I've seen you last and you're ready for this mindful movement session today. As always with these sessions or any sessions you do with me, we always try and do them to the best of our ability, and that may look different for you today or from any other day, or it may look different from what I'm doing. But the best thing we can do is try things to the best of our ability. But if you do need to take any rests, or if you need to take any adaptations, or whatever it may be for you to do this session to the best of your ability, however it looks today, please feel free to make those choices for yourself during this session. With today's session, it's nice, relaxing, calming session, and we will start that by doing some nice deep breathing, going in through the nose, out through the mouth. And over the next couple of breaths, if you haven't already, start to close down those eyes and bring that focus inwards. So just nice, slow, deep breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. And focus on the breathing as you're doing it. So notice how it affects your body as you breathe in. Notice those lungs inflate, the chest lifts up, almost forces you into a more upright posture. And as you breathe out, notice that wave of relaxation. Your shoulders drop slightly and maybe curl forwards a little bit. But just notice how the breath is affecting you as you breathe in, as you breathe out. Brings that focus inwards. Starts to block out the world around us as we focus on our breathing. It's going to help reduce some of that nervous system down and get us into a much more relaxed state. And whilst we're here, we're going to thank ourselves for being here today. As we always say, sometimes the hardest bit of the session is just turning up in the first place. But now we're here, we're over that hurdle. We will remain as focused as we can be through today's session. So whatever movement, breathing, mindfulness work that we may be doing today, we want to make sure that we're staying as focused as we can. But also understanding that our mind does like to wander. That's something it naturally does anyway. We don't get annoyed in those situations. We just understand it's a normal part of being human. We just bring it back in line and be focused on the task at hand, whatever it may be through this session. As you're reminding yourself of that, keep the breathing going in through the nose, out through the mouth. And when you're ready to, you can open up your eyes. Keep that breathing going, but as we breathe in, we're going to shrug those shoulders up, squeeze them nice and tight, and as we breathe out, we're going to relax them down. We're just going to cycle between the two there. Breathing in, squeezing up, breathing out, relaxing down. And we're essentially just sending lots of newly oxygenated blood to these muscles here by almost pumping them as we do this squeeze, using all that oxygen that we just breathed in, sending it to this area and giving it everything it needs to relax, to heal, to do everything it does. Good. We're going to keep the squeezing going, but instead of going up and down, we're going to bring those shoulder blades behind us, squeeze nice and tight, and then we're going to push them forwards in the shoulder joint. And again, between the two, breathe in, squeeze back, breathe out, push forwards. Good. We're just keeping the shoulder region, and we're just going to rotate those shoulders around in a circle. Nice and gentle. Controlled movements, and you can start off small here and get slightly bigger as you go into it, but just the range of motion isn't necessarily important here, just as long as we're just getting some nice circles round, continuing getting some blood flowing into that area, providing those shoulders with everything they need right now, because our body is exceptional at giving what it needs to the right areas, but sometimes it just needs a little helping hand, which is what we're doing here. Let's change direction and go the opposite way. Well, let's start to open those up a little bit more by grabbing, almost having your hands sort of roughly on your shoulders, and we can just start circling around. Doesn't matter which direction you go because we're swapping a minute, so just go with whatever feels right to you. Mobilizing them round, and if you need to here, I'm doing double arm, but you can do it alternating arms if that's preferable or easier to perform. Or if you need to do it single arm, you can do a couple on one side, a couple on the other. The choice is up to you. And that might either be personal preference or just ability level. I personally prefer doing both round together. I feel like I get a little bit more of a stretch. When I'm going backwards, I get a little bit more stretch in the chest. And then when we change direction in a minute, we will feel a little bit more in the back there. Good. All right, let's change direction now. Go the opposite way, and again, we can do both together, or alternating, or single arm. Just moving it around. Good. Well, let's just go back to some shoulder rotations there. Change direction. Good work. Hopefully we're a little bit more loose in those shoulders. We're going to do some stretching now. And normally we do it for about a 3 to 5 second hold on some of these stretches. But what we're going to do today is a little bit of a longer hold. So we're going to do about 10 seconds on each side. If you need to, you can support yourself by holding on to something as you lean over. So the first one we're going to do is the overhead one, if you're able to. If you can't get the arm overhead, we can come across the front. But just an adaptation, because we're holding it for longer, if you need to support yourself, you can hold on to either your wheelchair if you're in one, or onto a sofa or table or a windowsill or whatever you've got lying around. But we just reach over, and then we're going to hold this for about 10 seconds, and I'll count it for you here. 3, 2, 1. Bringing it over to the other side and holding it this side for about 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Over to the first side again. And if you're not able to bring the arm all the way up and over, we can bring it across the front of us a little bit more instead. 2, 1. Over to the second side. 3, 2, 1. Back to the first side again. 3, 2, 1, over to the second side. 3, 2, 1, back to the first side again. 3, 2, 1, back over again. And after this one, we do one more on each side. And 3, 2, 1. So one more on this side. And over to the other side. Good work. Good, well, let's ease out of that. Just holding those stretches a little bit longer just changes that up a little bit with the stretches, a little bit of a deeper stretch. But let's go into our next one here. We're going to stretch our chest and our upper back. So to do this, we open up the chest by bringing them back behind us. And then we're going to reach one arm forwards. And we'll just go through this first one relatively quickly. And then we do the holds for longer. And then back again. And then reach forwards with the other hand. And we're going to do a similar thing here, holding it for about 10 seconds on each stretch here. So we'll start from the beginning. Open up that chest. We're going to hold it for about 10 seconds here. If you need to, you can just do one arm and then you can swap over if you need to for balance reason. But we'll do it for another 3, 2, 1. Then we're going to reach one arm forwards the best we can and hold that there for 10 seconds as well. And 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it back in to the back. Open up that chest. Try and bring those elbows and those wrists back as best you can. 3, 2, 1. Reaching forwards with the opposite hand the best we can. Try and push that shoulder forwards in the joint. And 3, 2, 1. Bringing it back. Open up the chest. 3, 2, 1. Reaching forwards with the opposite hand. 3, 2, 1. Bringing it back again. Good work, everybody. And 3, 2, 1. Reaching forwards again. And after this one, we will do one more on each side. 3, 2, 1. Bring it back again. And reaching forwards with one arm. 3, 2, 1. Back again. And we just got one more reach forwards after this hold here. And that will be in 3, 2, 1. Reach forwards. And 3, 2, 1. Ease it off there. Good work. Okay, we're going to go into our rotator cuff stretch. Now remember, we've got two options here. Option number 1, elbows tucked in, and we're going to rotate them out to the side. Some of you may prefer this for the longer hold rather than having the elbows held high. But if you're able to do it, move on to the second variation, which is having those elbows up high and rotating back. I'm just going to turn to the side to show it from there as well. So elbows are up, and we're going to rotate back, and we'll start with this one here, the external rotation. We're holding this for 10 seconds. Number 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we rotate all the way in and hold the internal rotation, and we're going to hold this for 10 seconds as well. A little bit harder to feel this one, but make sure we keep those elbows forwards and those hands are rotating down for another 4, 3, 2, 1. Rotate it up again and hold that for 10 seconds. Remember, if you can't hold it up there, keep the elbows touching your side and rotate out instead. And 2, 1, rotate down. 3, 2, 1, going back up again. And 2, 1, rotate down. And after this one, we'll do one more up and one more down. In 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1, and down for the last one here. And 2, 1, relax it off there. Good work, everybody. Let's just do some shoulder rotations just to ease out of those. Sometimes stretching can be a little bit strenuous on the muscles, so we just ease out of it. Nice, relaxed movements. You can give yourself a little bit of a wiggle if you need to as well. Good work. Let's grab a little hydration break here before we move into the next bit. Good work so far. A little bit of a different adaptation on the stretches there. Just holding it for a little bit longer. There's not necessarily a right way or a wrong way of approaching the length of time you hold it for. We just get slightly different outcomes, but still generally getting the benefit of the stretching there. Good work. We're going to go into some breathing and some movement at the same time. We're going to start off nice and simple. We're going to breathe in, bring the hands up, breathe out, push them down. If you're still having a drink, don't worry, finish your drink off, join in when you're ready to. As we go through this, breathe in, bring the hands up, breathe out, push down. Good, as we do it now, we're going to breathe in, bring the hands up, breathe out. Going to push those hands forwards and down. So breathe in, breathe out. It's a longer breath out on this. One more here with this. Good. This time we're going to breathe in, push the hands out to the side, and then return them down. Breathe in, breathe out. Make sure we push out as far as we can before returning those hands down. Good work. Nice work, everybody. This time we're going to breathe in, bring those hands up, and then as we breathe out, we're going to push up, out and around, and down. So breathe in. Breathe out. It's a long way round, so make sure you really slowly breathe out on this. If you can't get those arms all the way up and around, as always, just do the best you can, even if it's a smaller range of motion. It's all about just doing what you can do. We're going to do a similar one next, but instead of just bring those hands up and over, we're going to start with our hands in a prayer position. If you're able to, we're going to try and keep those elbows as close together as we go up. So we're going to try and keep them together as we push those hands up towards the sky. As we reach up, they start to naturally open up, and you're going to come around to the bottom. A few adaptations on this. If you can't bring those elbows together, just as best you can, even if it's a little bit wider, try and keep them as close together as you go up. The higher you go, they naturally want to separate. And if you can't bring the arms all the way up above your head, again, even if it's only just above your head, in front of your face, only at chest height, wherever you can get to, just do the best you can and try and get those elbows together as best you can as you go all the way up and through. You get a little bit of stretch in the upper back as you do so. A little bit in the shoulders. And you can keep the breathing going on this, the same as what we were doing before, breathing in, breathing out in the pace. Or if you just want to return your breathing to normal, or whatever feels natural, that's absolutely fine on this one. Good work. Let's change directions. So start by going out and around, palms together at the highest point we can, and as we come down, try and bring those elbows together, and then down at the bottom and reaching out and around again, and repeating through that there. one more wherever you're at. Good work. We're just going to do one little more kind of a stretchy mobility thing here before we move on to our neck mobility. We're going to have both hands out to the side. We're going to have one palm facing up, the other palm facing down. You're just going to rotate around between the two. I'm going to come a little bit closer. It will be a little bit blurry on my hands, but you should be able to get an understanding. So one's facing one direction, the other one's facing the other, and we're just rotating it, and the other hand's doing the opposite. Just nice and slow between the two. If you need to take a break because it's hard to hold your hands out, that's absolutely fine. But when you are doing it, try and do both at the same time if you're able to. As you do this, you'll probably feel a stretch that goes pretty much from your wrist all the way up your forearm, into your upper arm, and into your shoulders. And this stretches lots of muscles, tendons, ligaments, all the way through up that. So it's just going back and forth between the two. And if you're ever stuck for a dance move as well, you can use this too. Just go a little bit quicker. I was at a wedding at the weekend, so plenty of dance moves came out. And I managed to do a wheelie without falling out my wheelchair, which is always an achievement. Excellent. Well, let's rest those arms down there and let's grab another hydration, and then we'll go into our neck and spinal mobility. Good work so far though. We've done a little bit more on the stretching side of things today, and we'll move on to, as I said, our neck and spinal mobility, sort of an anchor with within these sessions because of their importance to us as mostly wheelchair users here and in our modern lives. Good, okay, let's start with just getting ourselves nice and relaxed. Sometimes after a little bit of stretching and all those kind of things, our heart rate can come up a little bit. So we're just going to relax down, just nice deep breathing, going in through the nose, out through the mouth. Keep that going, just a couple of breaths here, just to recenter ourselves. And let's go into our neck flexion and extension. So we just look up and down for this. Flexion as we look down, extension as we look up. They're the first two of our 4 spinal movements, or first vertebrae movements that they are able to do. So we've got flexion as we look down, extension as we look up. We will move into rotation and lateral flexion soon enough, but we'll just go through this for now. Nice, easy, gentle movements. Try not to just go through the motions on this one. Really feel how that spine is moving. Almost imagine, remember those classroom skeletons in biology? And the vertebrae in your neck. Imagine them moving within you and what they're having to do this movement. That just gives us a little bit of a better understanding. That better understanding gives us control. And you just want to imagine the neck curling forwards and reaching up and arching back. When you find yourself next looking down, let's hold that position for a bit here. Chin tucked into the chest if you're able to, and then let gravity do the rest here. When you're in this position, if you want to take it a little bit further, you can just rock, keep the chin tucked in, head down forwards, and you can just rock side to side slightly. And you might find some areas that feel a little bit tighter. Feel free to hold those there for a little bit longer if you think that's necessary. Also can sometimes give us a good idea of how the neck feels. Good, let's ease out of that. Go into a couple of looking up and downs. And then our next one's going to be looking up. But before we look straight up, start by looking forwards. Place the hand on top of the sternum area. And then basically hold the skin there. Keep the mouth closed and look up from there. Again, so looking forwards. Up, place our hand on top of the sternum. That's the big bone that holds the middle of the rib cage together essentially. So placing on top of there, keep the mouth closed and look upwards. When you do it right, you feel a stretch through the front of the neck there as you elongate. And again, if you want to take this a little bit further, you can just rock side to side in this position. And you'll probably feel, especially on one side, a little bit extra tightness. That'll be especially true if you're a bit of a side sleeper, you feel a little bit more there. Good, well, let's ease out of that. Do a couple of looking up and downs. And let's go into our rotation next, which is looking to one side and round to the other. So this is our third of the 4 movements in the rotation. Looking left, looking right, rotating round, making sure we're at a comfortable range of motion. Nice work. We're going to do a little bit of the hold next. Start by looking forwards. We're going to take our left hand and place it on top of the right collarbone. We're going to keep the mouth closed again, and we're going to look round to the left side. And then from there we should feel a stretch through sort of the side of the front of the neck. So repeating that again, start by looking forwards. Hand on top of the collarbone. You're sort of almost locking the muscles of the neck in place by doing so. And you're rotating around to the left. If you're not feeling it quite there, just have a play around with that hand position before you rotate around. And when you get it right, you'll know. And then from there, if you want to take it a little bit further, we can just do some looking up and downs whilst the head's rotated. And you'll probably feel, especially when you look up, just because of the way we're holding the neck, you get a bit more of a stretch there. Good work. Let's ease out of that. We'll do a couple of lefts and rights. And then we will do our right side next. So start looking forwards, right hand on top of the left collarbone this time, almost locking it in place there, and rotate round to the right and hold that position again. You'll know when you get it right because you'll feel that stretch. If not, have a play around. See what feels right there. And then again, once we're in this rotated position, if you want to take a little bit further, you can look up and down. Feel that stretch a little bit more. And ease out of it. Good work so far, everybody. Let's go into our lateral flexion next. Let's bring in one ear to one shoulder, to the other shoulder, and back and forth between the two. Nice and controlled. Start to increase that stretch a little bit more. Let's go left ear to left shoulder first. And with this, try not to let your head go forwards too much or tip back too much. Try and keep it in line a bit. If you want to take the stretch further, we can either drop the hand down to the side or bring it behind us for your options in increasing that stretch. Just do which one works for you. It may be hand on the lap, hand by your side, or hand behind you. Good, well, let's ease out of it. A couple of lefts and rights, and then let's go into the other side. So hold that right ear towards the right shoulder. Don't bring the right up to meet it though, just bring it down naturally. The right shoulder can stay relaxed as you're doing so. And you'll feel that stretch on the left side, between the left ear and the left shoulder. And if you want to take it a little bit further, again, we can drop the hand down or bring it behind us. Whatever your personal preference is. Good, let's ease out of it again, doing some lefts and rights. Nice. Wow, we are going to go through the rest of our spine now. I will turn so you can see it, but you can stay where you are. And we go through some flexion and extension. So to do this, we curl forwards like a shrimp. And then we arch back like a high jumper. And go back and forth between the two, nice and gentle. Now for me, for the first couple, I tend to not get a great range of motion for me personally. But as I get into it, I just get a little bit more each time. And soon I'm in that flowing motion between curling forwards and arching back. And that's the focus here, is to move that spine. It's not just bending forwards and sitting up straight, it's curling forwards and arching back. And that's where that spinal movement is. And you can almost imagine it on that biology skeleton that I mentioned earlier. Just imagine what that spine's doing. It's curling forwards, almost like it's doing a sit-up. But obviously we're not sat or we're not lying on the floor. And then arching back, as we say, it's like going over a pole. You're jumping like a high jumper. And it's going back and forth between the two. Imagine what that spine's doing in this movement. Good. Wow. Let's go into our rotation now. So we rotate around to one side and rotate around to the other side to the best of your ability. But don't try and force anything here. If you find some resistance, and especially if you can't fit in this area, just bring it back round to the other side and go back and forth between the two. Doesn't matter how far we go necessarily, it's about just getting the movement in, getting these rotations in to the best of our ability. Good work. Okay, we're going to go into the last one of these spinal movements. We're going to do our lateral flexion. We come down to one side and down to the other. And remember the adaptation on this one, or the teaching point, I should say, which is to not let yourself lean forwards or backwards. Imagine you're between two panes of glass and you're slipping down between the two, down to one side, down to the other. And then let's do a bonus one here where we come around in a circle like we're in a whirlpool, combining some of those movements together. Got a little bit of flexion, extension, lateral flexion, all rolled into one, which creates this whirlpool. Let's change direction, go the opposite way. And then let's give that all a bit of a shake off there. Good work. So far, we've got about 15 minutes here, so we will do a little bit of Tai Chi and then we're going to go into our mindfulness work. If you want some hydration before we move into this bit, feel free to do so. But when you've had that drink, just do some nice slow breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. There's no rush here though. I'm just not grabbing a drink because I'm extremely well hydrated. It's being back with the squash, that's what it is. I get a lot more drinking with the squash. Just nice, gentle breathing in, breathing out. Let's start to do some of these movements now. So raise the hands up to around about eye level and then drift them back down. Bringing it up, bringing it down. It's all about focusing on one fluid movement between going up, coming back down, and repeating through. Gentle movements. Good work, everybody. Let's do some alternative things in here. So we'll go up to the left, down, up to the middle, down, and up to the right, and down, back to the middle again. So it's left, middle, left, middle, right, middle as you're going through this. But nice flowing movements in your own pace. Don't feel like you have to go with mine. Nice fluid movements. Almost like we're some form of liquid just flowing between the movements here. Good work. Let's rest those hands in the middle. We're going to move on to the next one here. So as we come up, we're going to go up to the left first of all. So both hands up. And then the left hand, which is the outside one, is going to drop down, almost like we're giving somebody a hug off to our left side. And we're going to drift over to the other side. Our hands are going to swap positions, so one goes up, one goes down. We come over to the other side, swap them again, and then back over again. This time we go down to this side, and we're going to come back up this side. So both hands coming up to the right. The left hand drops down. Again, almost like we're giving someone a hug. We drift over, 1, switch hands, 2, switch hands, 3. Good. So a little bit of core work involved with this one because we're holding those arms up for so long, but we come down to that side and we come back up again. You drop the left hand and go 1. You can go 2. And we can go 3. Hands down, hands back up again. Drop the left hand, we go 1. Switch positions, 2. Switch positions, 3. Down again. Back up again. One hand down, the other one up. Rotate 1. Drifting across, 2. And one more time, 3. Hands back down. Back up again. We'll make this one our last one of these. Hand down, we drift left. We go to the right. And we go back one more time. And down. Good work. Let's give those arms a little bit of a rest there. Nice work. We'll just do some shoulder rotations. And you can give them a little bit of a wiggle, however you feel, because we're going into some mindfulness now. So get yourself nice and comfortable. When you're ready to, nice deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. And let's close those eyes down as we go into a body scan today. So with the body scan, just to give you a little recap, it's where we start at the top of our head and we scan our body all the way down to the tip of our toes. We check in on each individual part and I'll be guiding you every step of the way, so all you need to do is follow my instructions. And when we focus on a different part of our body, you can either just focus on it, you can move it by itself if you're able to, or if you want to, you can use your hands to sort of feel how it feels. The idea here is just to see what your body is saying. It's literally listening in to different parts. So let's start with the top of our head in the crown region here, which doesn't have a lot of nerve endings compared to other parts of our body. So we just focus on there for a bit, see if anything comes back. And now let's move down now into our forehead and our eyes area. And we often say with these ones that if you're struggling with sleep or if you're just particularly tired in this moment, the eyes and the forehead area, the eyebrows, they tend to be the ones that are aching here and feeling like they need a rest. So you might feel like they're awake, ready to go, or you just might feel like they're just maybe needing a little bit more sleep at night. Let's move down now into our cheeks and our mouth and seeing how that feels here. For me, it feels a little bit better when I do this in the evening. Usually in the morning after the hour, it's a little bit more achy in the jaw, but this time of day it's a little bit easier. Maybe it's just loosened up from the full day of talking. But just me understanding that is just from doing these body scans, listening to my body, seeing what it says, and I just get a better understanding of what's going on. Let's move around to the back and the top of our neck And let's go down vertebrae by vertebrae and seeing how it feels. As always with these ones, we've done some stretching and some mobility, so it's probably feeling quite loose, but maybe also feeling a little bit on the tired side as well, a little bit fatigued, which is perfectly normal. Let's go down through our neck into our shoulders, and again we can give our shoulders a little rotation, little wiggle, see how they feel. And we've done quite a bit of stretching in this area, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's feeling just a little bit on the sore side, or a little bit on more the feel like you've done something to its side. But also, I'd expect it to feel a little bit looser as well, which is where we want to be with this. Let's go down now through our arms into our elbows. Then we can give them some movement, not too much going on in this session with our lower arms. Let's go down now into our wrists, see how they feel. Into our hands and our fingers here. Bring the attention up the arms again into the shoulders. And let's go through the rest of our spine here. We can give it some movement, some wiggling, see how things are. Coming down into the hips area. Now this is an area for myself that I cannot feel, and you may be the same. But just what I want you to do is, if you can feel it, give it a wiggle, give it some movement, see what any feedback you get from it is. But if you can't, just do your best to send the signals down. See what comes back in feedback. And move down now through our upper legs into our knees. I will give these a little mobility with just moving them using my hands. Seeing if there's any extra resistances or whatever it may be in those. And we're going to go down now through our lower legs into our ankles, our feet, and our toes, and feel free to give those some movement if you can. If you can't, just send the focus, send the energy down there into your toes. All together, we're going to do 3 big deep breaths in. We're going to start with from the tip of the toes all the way to the top of our head. And I just want you to imagine there's a bright white light filling you up from the tip of your toes to the top of your head. And then as you breathe out, you're just releasing it out. So first of all, let's just breathe out to begin with. And then ready to breathe in that white light. Breathe in. Fill your body with that light and breathe out. 2 more. Ready. Breathing in. Breathe out. And 1 more, breathing in. Feel that white light and release, breathing it out. Good. Whilst we still got our eyes closed in this position, let's thank ourselves for being here today. Much like we did in the beginning of the session, just thanking ourselves for turning up, as that often is the hardest part. But remaining focused, as I could see you were when I was looking at your screens, if I can see you, and if I can't, I'm sure you are working. Focused on the tasks at hand. When you're ready to, once you thank yourself, start to open up your eyes. Bring yourself back to the room as we are done for today's session. Excellent work, everybody.